What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So this is going to be my follow-up video to what I was talking about from the last video that I put out. New vlog video, times have changed when getting a job, and on what I would like to really speak on most of those parts, on why my education the way that it is, try to give a better understanding, and about the with the special ed classes, what go on behind that, and with my upbringing with school, and why it was rough for me, and why, I just really wasn't too thrilled on certain things. I'm also texting someone too at the same time. Bit of importance. Actually, it is important. So, I want to begin with my early years in school. I'm gonna say Head Start years. Is what it was. I don't really remember the name of the school that I went to. I don't remember the name of the school. I do know that this much, I started school pretty late in my child years. One of the reasons for that, when we moved here, and I was like maybe 4 at the time, is that we didn't bring any of the information in terms of my stuff and birth certificates, as you registered that you were born in the U.S., things of that nature. I didn't really receive any of those until I was like 20 years old. I had my aunt do it, and I remember there was this thing. I couldn't read. I had a hard time. I didn't even know how to write my name. And I didn't learn how to start tying my shoes till really at the age of 11. I didn't get good at it till the age of 15 either. And along with that, they had something called the 100 Club. You had to learn how to count to 100. I couldn't even get past 5 at all. Couldn't. I didn't learn how to count to 100 till probably the 5th grade. Most of them times from schools I do remember that I went to, it was always special ed classes, always. However, there were early morning tutoring classes as well back then. From Head Start, no, not Head Start, Riverside, McDowell. None of it was clicking to me at all. So none of it clicked. Even from those years, going into the special ed classes until high school, didn't do really any work. There was work, but there wasn't work. And when it come to us wanting to learn, we really didn't learn. the answers was given to us. This was done so no student who was in that class, along with the teacher, wasn't stuck on one thing for so long and just given the answers. Most of the time, within those classes, it was just bullshit. There was parties going on. Like, you would have the pizza and drink parties, etc. etc. And we would just goof off, and we would just pass like that. Around the time of the No Child Left Behind Act, which was actually, I think I was in maybe 5th grade when that took place. And it still goes on now, I believe. I don't think so, because I do know a lot of the educational classes and a lot of special ed classes like that, they took out of the school systems, I think 5 years ago, for money reasons, because of they wanted to do budget cuts. So I was on the No Child Left Behind Act, and I just passed. A lot of my grades were fucked up in school, but they just passed me just to pass me anyway. So I really didn't learn anything. A lot of it was just playtime. I never learned how to read properly. Never learned how to write or count properly either. So along with that, when it shows those on the records with their education throughout the years, it's gonna show nothing. It's gonna make it look like you never went to school. So it's gonna show that you had special ed class. It's gonna show what your IQ is, your learning levels, and probably a prediction of where you're at later on. As you guys know, I'm 27. I'm almost 30 years old. I ain't got that long. I do not have that long at all to go till I'm 30. And with me saying that is where we go through after, I guess, a little bit during high school, after high school years. For me, I had 3 years of high school. I went freshman, 10th grade. I skipped junior. I went to senior. Because of my age, I would have graduated at the age 20 years old. That wouldn't have looked right. Testing was still low. I still had a hard time with the reading and writing. However, when it comes to me being intelligent, my IQ was low, because they made it low within the school educational system. But my intelligence is actually well beyond anybody else's expectations. Let's just say I know a lot of shit that you may not know. Or you may never thought of, to where, yeah, I'm actually a smart person. Right? But going back to what I said in the video before, with how the new work regulations are, I just never had an education, didn't complete school. I don't have a real diploma. I got a fake diploma to make it look like I completed school, even though I did graduate. But in reality, I just didn't complete school. And my work experience when I was put in a work class in high school, 10th grade, it was 2008, for a year. I'd done that for a year. I worked at McDonald's, and it was to teach us how to work. Didn't get paid for it, so it was voluntary. Yet again, this was filled in the in-depth money interview with that, so I'm not going to get too much into that. Then I worked at the TRC plant. I filled that in a lot with an in-depth money interview, briefed over that within the new work regulations, in the last video I did that's related to this video. Done that for about 2 years. After that, there was a TRC school, a college. It is bullshit. If you look that up on the Facebook page, you can see a lot of negative reviews from the people that went there. They say it's a college, but it's just a place to put you. You don't get nothing out of it. One of the things I said is once you take these classes in certain areas that you'll get paid. That is bullshit. I went there for 6 months, didn't see a goddamn dime. I was in Job Corps. I was in there for 6 months. I had one more month, I would have graduated the first semester from Job Corps, but I never received any of my credits. And that's how it is. I know some people that I met were there for 3 years, worked so hard in the same area, didn't receive none of their credits until about that 4th year. So why in the hell were you there for so long? Because it was bullshit over there. They say college, which I have my college path and paperwork for that. But all it is really is just a place to give you job training. Yeah, you can stay there. There is a campus. But rather than it being a campus, there's like little apartments to teach you what it is to live on your own. I did pretty good. I proved some people wrong. I earned a few bucks on the side. I did artwork. I had my own student bank account. If you guys want to know more about that, it's also in the video with an in-depth money interview. So I'm not going to get too much into that. However, according to with the work regulations, registration regulations, within schooling regulations, that is not on file because it's not a real school. So it doesn't count as experience. And that's really the thing, is what is considered experience to people such as myself. I was a ruffian. I was a juvenile delinquent. I say one thing that has to go with my education was school was never of the importance for me. I wanted to be the drug dealers on the block who I grew up seeing and idolized as a child. I wanted to have the fancy cars. I wanted the jewelry. I wanted the clothes. I wanted the women. I wanted the money. I got into fights a lot. I wouldn't pay attention that much within my classes either. I used to get picked on for being in special ed classes. I used to get called names. I used to be overweight. Really bad as well. So I didn't really have any friends. But I got into a lot of fights because of that shit. That's another reason why my education is so bad as well. To where there's no real place for people like that. So we have to make our own. They give us these things. They call them resources, what I just described. But that's going away. Because the states, the schools, they want to save money, so they do the budget cut. They get rid of them. A good percentage of the people that you see go to jail and in prison, a lot, are people like me that had a hard time with learning skills. About the good percentage of those people that you will see in there cannot read or write, let alone tie their own shoes. And these are grown-ass men. Those, as we wondered why it took us, why we're struggling to find a job. Why is it that we sell weed? Why is it that we sell crack? Why is it that we rob? Why is it that you see us on the block a lot? Or why most of us are doing music to try to get somewhere? Because we didn't have, we didn't have the choices to get somewhere in life as the regular kids were giving. We didn't have those options. We didn't have doors open to us like them. Okay? This is something you can go either way. Either you were born with dyslexia or it just happened. You know, it depends. I'm going to say I was born with it. At the same time, it was also developed and brought on over time from what I just explained. So more people that you see locked up in this shit are people like me. We had a hard time paying attention to school. We didn't know where we fitted in. We didn't know if we couldn't be part of the regular kids. We got picked on from being, they would call us retarded. Because we had reading problems. There are people today, some of the most intelligent, smartest people in the world that get overlooked, that have these great ideas, even when it comes to making money. Do not give a chance. And those people are people like me who have learning problems, disabilities, or special needs type of people. The most intelligent people in the world that you're going to ever meet, and the most nicest people too. Who's willing to help you out with money, whatever they got, clothes off their back. I've been known to do that a lot. Also been took advantage of because of that. Yes, my learning level's on a 3rd, 4th grade level. I still have problems today with writing and reading. Not so much as counting. I still have a little problem with tying my own shoes. Yeah, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm a grown-ass man to admit that. But I have experience in things. I do okay for myself here and there at times, yeah. But with me going back to school in order to get a job, I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad this is needed. I'm getting started late in my life. I really am. By the time I practically even get a little bit somewhere, yeah, I'll probably be 30 years old to 35. Okay? So I'm getting started late in my entire life. And because of that, I don't want to be 30 years old still trying to make it in music, still trying to get on TV and shit. No, that's why I'm retiring after 8 years come December. I'm not doing no more music. But but the music world, what I learned, did teach me a lot. It did. It got my voice heard. It got me recognized. It taught me some things within the crevices of that. Life is one of the best teachers, one of the best experiences ever. And you don't get judged for that. That's a free education. That's free schooling. Where I am now with my audio and music, I taught myself that. I had to learn that. It took a while, but I got there. I did. I got there. Some of the main people that you see that join the Army, from the Navy, Air Force, military, or National Guard are people, yet again, that have learning disabilities because we're trying to find a place to call home, to find a place to fit into where we don't get judged, and try to gain a few bucks. But after that, we're still struggling. We really are. Some of the entertainers that you guys see today, from musicians to movie actors, are some of the people that have disabilities, that have disabilities. I guarantee you, even learning disabilities, So you got a few of us that do make it. You do. I'm glad now that I can speak on this and bring it to light after so long. I'm glad I'm doing this because of what happened yesterday was a beautiful thing. I'm getting started late in my life. I really am. Like I said, it's time for a change. That change is coming late. But I'm getting started late in my life. Better late than never. I'm glad that this is happening. I'm glad I get to go back to school next year. I'm okay with it being a 3-month class. I'm okay with paying $1,000 once I finish, or if I have to pay it even with I finish, depending on how it goes. With the business academics and business management, these are the skills that I learned that I know I can pass with ease. When I was in college in Job Corps over at the TRC school, not even during almost the 6 months, I was in training for floor supervisor, working my way up to floor management. I led a team, and I led practically the whole inside 8 in a shorter period of time. I was recognized for my leadership skills and my hard work. I'm recognized for my skills as a musician in the music world now, in the underground. From putting out a lot of music, I learned how to do the editing by myself with pictures. I learned how to do the mixing, the editing, try to master the audio, the recording by myself over time. I am not on nobody's label. I do not have any team. I'm by myself. I have learned this because it brought business skills with business academics to me, for me to be prepared for this when I go in school next year. So I have those experiences. People are trying to figure out how am I doing it with the music, or why am I putting out so much music, a project every month. I believe in just doing the music. There's no excuses to set you back. I may have problems with money here and there, but I always still find a way to put out a good amount of music, hard copies. I do. I know how to promote, push, publish myself. Advertisement as well. So those skills from what I learned back in the TRC school here with the music, that is considered business learning, business academics, and business management. And those will come in handy. It really will. To where I'm thinking smart. I do not have to take out, any student aid. I qualify for it. Like I said, I got good credit. I don't know how that's possible. But I've been told this several times. Even though I don't qualify for a loan. I'm not going to touch the money from student aid. Because there's a used bookstore here in town I can just get those books at for cheap. That's where I already got the books. I can start. So yeah, education is what I'm getting at with it. This is important. Make sure you complete school for the 12 years that you're in it. Make sure you complete high school for the 4 years. Keep a clean record. Stay away from the bullshit. Stay away from the coon shit. It's not going to help you. Go to college. You don't have to do the 4 years. I recommend it. You don't have to do the 8 years, but I recommend it. Do some classes that you can complete, even if you don't fully complete the college itself. To say, hey, you got something from it, a certificate of some sort with that. Join the military, because with your schooling, even with college, that's going to help you as well get into it easier. And when you're also done with the military part with that, take schooling. Take some classes in the military. So when you get done with that, and as you're working, getting a job, that's going to look good on your resume and on your background. It really is. Do not be a fuck up like me. Even if you have learning disabilities, don't use that as an excuse, man. I know it's hard, but you got to keep pushing. And don't let no one stop you. Don't. So I just wanted to shed some light on the education part at hand here, and I'm out.